Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Retro Pop Planet and welcome back to another filming location video. This time we're going all the way back to 1994 and this is James Cameron's spy thriller, True Lies. This movie has a ton of famous actors of the day. Of course you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have Jamie Lee Curtis, you have Tom Arnold, Eliza Dushku, among others. And this movie is insane. Anyway, the timing of this video is kind of weird in that several months ago I was at a thrift store and I came across this really cool tape. It was somebody's recording of True Lies. I was hoping that maybe there was gonna be some TV commercials or whatever on here. It's just a direct rip from the actual VHS. I just thought the tape itself was cool and I just kind of put it on my shelf for a little while, but I think this is gonna be a really fun video. So let's get on to the filming locations for 1994's True Lies. Let's begin with the Tasker family residence. The house is in Chevy Chase, Maryland. I wanted to start here because I'm almost positive that they used this home as a practical set, meaning I think they shot all the exteriors and the interiors in the house. When I pulled up to the street, I had a hard time convincing myself that this was the house, mainly because those dormer windows weren't in the movie. But according to the Zillow listing, it sold in May of 1995. The studio or Cameron's production company could have purchased the house, had their way with it during filming, and then modify and sell for a profit after the movie was released. The house was built in 1918. On the wall in Dana's room is an old wall heater unit, which would have been common when the house was constructed. It's a 6-bed, 5-bath home at over 3,600 square feet and is valued at almost $2.4 million. We can match up some of the movie scenes to the Zillow photos. And then outside when Dana zooms off on the motorcycle with her boyfriend. Did I mention that we are doing the DC filming locations? Because the movie was filmed in Rhode Island, Los Angeles, Maryland, Washington, Florida, and the Florida Keys. So skipping ahead through the plot, we find ourselves in Georgetown as Harry and Albert are being tailed by the terrorists. Okay, I've made my way to Georgetown. We are on M Street, and in that stakeout, Arnold and Tom pull out on the curb right here in front of me. And you can see this building in the background. So they pull up right about here. And this is the intersection of M and Potomac, I think. Then Arnold crosses the street here to go into what used to be called the Georgetown Mall. So he's walking down this way and he passes these windows. This was open air at the time, but over his shoulder you can see this very unique window design. When the movie was filmed in the early 90s, I believe this was still the Dean and DeLuca. Dean and DeLuca was a gourmet grocery which stood here forever. And this used to be all open up. It was open air and you could have like a grab and go cafe that was right here. So in that scene, you could actually see people sitting outside at tables because it was an open air cafe, but it actually was not a restaurant, it was a grocery store. I think it is a restaurant now though. This Georgetown Park used to be a mall. It was converted, I think, in the early 2000s. You don't really see it that much in the movie because he opens the door and then goes inside and you see the stairwell and those classic gold stairwells, which are very 1980s. And then he goes into the fake bathroom where there's the shootout. Now, the door that he enters, I believe, used to be up here. Again, this is all modern retail, and I think you can still go into what used to be the mall, but you have to go all the way around the block. So we're gonna do that in this video because I haven't been in here in probably 30 years. So he was walking down here. He either goes in this door, but I think it's actually this door that he walks into. There used to be another entrance. I think that was one of the main entrances to the mall, but I'm pretty sure he came through here. And it's actually open. But you can see it's all been completely redone. And then after the shootout, he escapes through the same way, through this same alleyway, and then runs across the street here. He runs across M Street, back onto the corner where we initially started. So here's M Street, and behind me there's that window. Now I'm heading towards another entrance. I think you can still go in this way. I'm not expecting to see that 1980s, 1990s mall. I actually don't know what to expect, so let's go check it out. Okay, so unfortunately, I didn't realize it's no longer retail. It's actually residences. It's Georgetown Park residences. We can't go in there anymore. We are in Wisconsin Avenue, and M Street is just up here on the corner. This used to be the main entrance to the mall. This is not where Arnold would have gone in, but I thought we could at least go in and see what's doing on the inside, if anything looks the same. It's kind of as I feared. It's been completely renovated, and it's no longer accessible to the public. So this entire block used to be part of the mall, and right here in front of me is a big open air atrium, which I remember being in the very middle of the mall. It looks like you can still see some of that ornate detail work in the actual skylight. So I want to show this to you. It's pretty cool. Okay, so in that chase scene, they run back across M Street this direction, and you can see it looked like it was a restaurant. I think it's still a restaurant in that scene. I'm not sure actually if this building was even here. You can see the one behind it, but this is the direction they run. There's a shootout, and it's implied they're going this direction. So they're chasing each other on M Street, and then they cut to all the way out here to 14th and K. You've seen me post from here in my Chances Are video, because right there behind me is the Washington Post building. But what we're here for is Franklin Square and the Franklin Square Park, because this is where Arnold chases the terrorist to, and then Arnold is chasing him through the park on the horse. And then they enter into the park across the street over there. This is 14th Street, and then this is K Street going this direction. really know how much I'm gonna be able to line up because that was over 30 years ago. It looks like it's pretty much the same as the movie. You can see a fountain in the background. That's what I'm really looking for. And then it'd be cool if we could find the bench that Arnold jumps with the horse, but I don't know if that's gonna be quite possible. But we're just gonna explore here for a few minutes. There's that fountain that you see in the movie, and it looks like Arnold's jumping the horse somewhere around here over one of these benches. That scene, the camera is actually pointing this direction, so Arnold's traveling along here by horse, and then this is the direction that he's going. I'm not really sure how different this park is from when they filmed it in like 93 or 94. I'm assuming that it has been changed somewhat. It's really gorgeous day out here though, regardless. And they filmed it at night, so it was kind of hard to fill in a lot of those details. I think it's implied that they are still on M Street, even though they chase in the opposite direction. And then I think in the movie, they're supposed to be going across the Key Bridge there in Georgetown to the hotel where everyone thinks it's the Marriott Key Bridge, which has been closed for many years. I think people in this area that insist this movie was filmed in Washington, D.C. get that one hotel confused. So the chase is on through the park, and then they're back out onto the road. And this is now 13th and K Street. They ride past the Franklin School, and then this is the direction they're heading. And it has you believe they're heading towards that hotel scene, when in fact they're actually cutting to Los Angeles. And here's a close-up of that fountain, which you can see in that one scene. This is where they enter the park, and they're heading this way.
Why don't you just pull over right here?
Albert is driving Harry to Helen's office so that he can apologize for missing the party. And they're on Indiana Avenue between 6th and 7th Streets. There are far too many trees now to get a good camera matchup. And you only get a quick glimpse of the exterior of the building before he darts inside. And then he almost gets hit by a bus back on the street. Albert drags him away from instant death here in front of 601 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is an historic building. But on the opposite street corner, there was a street vendor. Harry suspects Helen of some funny business, and during a storm, Albert is parked out front of the Trasker residence. Suspecting his wife of cheating, Harry and Albert tail Helen to Chinatown, where she's set to meet with a sleazy character named Simon. They meet in a restaurant near the intersection of 7th and 8th Street. You can see the Chinese Friendship Gate in the background, and adjacent to Capital One Arena, home to the Washington Capitals, Mystics, and Wizards. The restaurant is long gone and the building has been repainted, but the entrance is still recognizable to the one Helen enters. Harry tells Simon to the car dealership where he works, which is on New York Avenue. It was only fashioned to look like a car dealership by the production team, and now there are condos in its place. It's hard to determine where Harry and Simon are driving, although it looks as if they're just circling the block. This entire neighborhood has been redeveloped, so this is probably the best we can do for this video. In a later scene, Harry demands Gibbs show him the page, and they pull up at 6th Street Northwest at Constitution Avenue. I saw that Jamie Lee Curtis was recently on 60 Minutes and they were doing a career retrospective, and she actually talked a lot about True Lies. She showed off the dress that she wore in the movie. She talked about the big stunt that she did towards the end where she was suspended over the helicopter. Career sort of moment for her. She got to do a lot of big time stunts. Speaking of which, those scenes were filmed along the old section of the 7 Mile Bridge in the Florida Keys. I was down there 11 years ago for a wedding, and my friends got married at a restaurant before you crossed the bridge. I drove across it multiple times, and here are a few pics I took. Those friends recently returned from a summer anniversary trip to the Keys, and here are a few of their photos from June. Now, this movie came out in July of 1994, and it was between my junior and senior year of high school, and I specifically remember going to the theater and watching this movie with my friends. And my memory is so specific that we went to Chi-Chi's beforehand. The one reason I remember this movie so well, and I can't remember if it was the lead up to it or the trailers beforehand, but there's that one scene in the movie where he says the thing and everybody knows he's gonna say the thing, and you're cheering and you're saying to yourself, there's no way he's gonna say the thing. And then he said that
You're fired.
and everybody went nuts. Please feel free to hit that like button. Please feel free to leave me a comment. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.